Donna Reed really hated him more than anyone else. Donna Reed was born Donna Bellmullinger on January 27, 1921 in Dennis, Iowa. She grew up in a simple Midwestern farming family, the oldest of 5 children. Her early life in small-town America would later become their song for the kindness and warmth that audiences loved in her movie roles, even though her family wasn't rich. Reed had a strong desire to do something bigger with her life. After finishing Dennis High School, she moved to California to go to Los Angeles City College, where she first studied because she wanted to become a teacher. But her amazing beauty and natural grace caught the attention of talent scouts, completely changing the path of her life. Her start in Hollywood came at a time when the studio system was very powerful, and her mix of grace, smarts, and natural charm made her stand out from all the other hopeful young actresses. She signed a contract with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in the early 1940s and quickly started appearing in smaller roles. Her early movie appearances in The Getaway, 1941, The Courtship of Andy Hardy, 1942, and The Picture of Dorian Gray, 1945, showed her ability to bring a quiet strength and real emotion to her characters. However, it was her role as Marie Bailey in Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, that would define her career and make her unforgettable in the hearts of audiences for generations to come. Reed's performance as Mary, the loving, loyal, and strong wife of George Bailey, played by James Stewart, became one of the most beloved performances in movie history. Her bright warmth and realness turned what could have been a smaller role into the emotional heart of one of the most lasting films ever made. Throughout the 1950s, Donna Reed continued to prove herself as a talented and highly respected actress. Her movies during this time included great performances in From Here to Eternity, 1953, for which won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Her performance as Lorraine Burke, a nightclub hostess with a sad story, showed a bold and deeply emotional side of Reed that surprised critics and audiences alike. It was a complete opposite to her wholesome image and proved that she could show great depth and range as a dramatic actress. This performance earned her not only praise from critics, but also made her place among Hollywood's best. She kept appearing in films like The Last Time I Saw Paris, 1954, and They Were Expendable, 1945, working alongside many of the era's top stars and directors. However, Donna Reed's impact went far beyond the movie screen. In 1958, she moved to television, where she created and starred in The Donna Reed Show, which ran for 8 successful seasons until 1966. The series showed the perfect easy to relate to life of a suburban American family and became a cornerstone of early television programming. As Donna Stone, Reed played the perfect example of the modern, smart, and caring wife and mother, a character that connected with millions of viewers during a time when family-centered programming ruled the airwaves. Behind the scenes, Reed was also a pioneering force, working as a producer on the show and becoming one of the first women in Hollywood to have a creative control over her own series. Her leadership in this way opened doors for future generations of women in the entertainment industry. Beyond her acting achievements, Donna Reed was deeply committed to her personal values and fighting for social causes. She was known for her compassion, intelligence, and strong moral beliefs. During the Vietnam War, Reed became a strong advocate for peace, co-founding Another Mother for Peace, an organization that tried to end the war and promote peaceful solutions. This activism showed a side of her that many did not see on screen, a passionate woman who used her fame and influence to speak out for justice and humanity. Her dedication to family, community, and social causes showed the integrity that defined both her work life and personal life. From 1943 to 1945, Donna Reed was married to William Tuttle, a talented makeup artist who would later become a highly respected figure at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer MGM. Their marriage began during the height of World War II, a time when Hollywood was both a place of glamour and patriotic duty. Tuttle's work behind the scenes matched Reed's rising fame in front of the camera as she was rapidly becoming one of MGM's most promising young actresses. However, their marriage was short-lived. The crazy schedules, long working hours, and pressures of the entertainment industry took a toll on their relationship. By 1945, after just 2 years together, Reed and Tuttle divorced. Despite the shortness of their marriage, They reportedly parted on good terms and both continued to do well in their careers, Reed as an actress and Tuttle as a famous makeup designer whose artistry would later win him an honorary Oscar. After the divorce, Donna Reed's life took a new turn when she met and married producer Denny Owen in 1945. Owen was a charming and ambitious man who saw not only Reed's talent, but also her intelligence and determination. Their partnership soon became both personal and professional. Together, they built a busy household while also navigating the unpredictable world of Hollywood. The couple raised 4 children, 2 adopted and 2 biological, and created a warm, close-knit family environment despite the demands of the entertainment industry. Their first 2 children, Penny Jane, born in 1945, and Anthony, born in 1946, were adopted shortly after birth. Reed and Owen had a deep desire to provide a loving home, and adoption showed Reed's caring nature and lifelong compassion for children. As Reed's film career grew, she balanced motherhood with remarkable poise. In 1949, she gave birth to their first biological son, Timothy, and later in 1957, welcomed their youngest child, Marianne. During these years, Reed managed to maintain an amazing balance between her home life and her successful career. She became known among her friends and colleagues as a devoted mother who often put her family above fame. Despite being one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces, she remained down to earth, frequently hosting family dinners, attending school functions, and personally taking care of her children's needs. Her family was her safe place, and she often gave credit to her husband, Tinyawan, for being both supportive and encouraging of her acting goals. However, as the years passed, cracks began to appear in their marriage. The entertainment industry could be harsh, and Owen's career as a producer often meant long absence and late nights, which put strain on their relationship. By the late 1960s, Reed's life had changed significantly. She had become a household name through The Donna Reed Show, a television hit that ran from 1958 to 1966 and brought her both fame and an Emmy Award. Yet, behind these scenes, the pressures of celebrity life, along with changing personnel priorities, began to wear on their marriage. After 26 years together, Reed and Owen divorced in 1971. It was a painful but respectful separation, and Reed continued to maintain a friendly relationship with Owen for the sake of their children. 3 years later, in 1974, Donna Reed found love again when she married Grover W. Asmus, a retired United States Army colonel. Their union marked a new chapter of peace and stability in Reed's life. Asmus was not part of the entertainment world, and his grounded, disciplined personality offered Reed a welcome change from the fast-paced Hollywood environment she had known for decades. The couple settled into a quiet, happy life, often splitting their time between Los Angeles and their home in Beverly Hills. Friends and family described their relationship as deeply loving and mutually supportive, a true partnership built on respect, companionship, and shared values. When Donna Reed agreed to star opposite Stewart Granger in the 1958 British mystery film The Whole Truth, she expected a professional experience marked by mutual respect and the usual courtesies between experienced actors. What she found instead was one of the most unpleasant working relationships of her career. Reed, who had always been known for her grace, discipline, and professionalism on set, found herself clashing badly with Granger, whose arrogance and big ego made him, in her eyes, impossible to tolerate. Later in life, when asked about her experiences working with various co-stars, she didn't hesitate to admit that Stewart Granger was the one man in Hollywood she truly hated more than anyone. Those words were shocking coming from Reed, who rarely spoke badly of anyone, yet they revealed the deep frustration and disgust she felt toward the British leading man. During the production of Whole Truth, tension between the twosters was obvious almost from the first day of filming. Granger, already known for his difficult temperament, seemed to enjoy asserting dominance over his co-stars, and Reed was no exception. Known for his sharp-tongued and sense of superiority, he often dismissed her ideas, interrupted her during rehearsals, and even mocked her American sensibilities. Donna, who had built her career on intelligence and poise, found his behavior insufferable. He was arrogant, rude, and full of himself, she reportedly said. He treated everyone around him as if they were beneath him, and I simply couldn't stand it. Her anger was not because of a single incident, but because of a long series of condescending gestures and put-down remarks that turned what should have been a professional collaboration into an emotional ordeal. Reed's dislike was made stronger by the contrast between their personalities. She had long been admired for her sincerity, her Midwestern manners, and her quiet strength. A native of Dennis, Iowa, she valued humility and teamwork, qualities that Granger seemed to completely lack. Granger, on the other hand, was a product of the British film establishment, a man who carried himself with the confidence of an aristocrat, and who often looked down on American actors, especially women, whom he believed lacked the sophistication of their European counterparts. To Reed, his condescension was unforgivable. He thought he was God's gift to the movies, she once said. But he was just a man full of hot air. She wasn't the only one who felt this way. Even members of the crew whispered about his attitude, privately siding with Reed, who despite her anger, continued to maintain her professionalism and deliver a perfect performance. The work engendered on the whole truth became increasingly toxic. Scenes between Reed and Granger were filled with underlying tension that could sometimes be felt heaven on screen. Their chemistry was cold, brittle, and uneasy, far from the romantic spark the filmmakers had hoped for. Off-camera, Reed often avoided Granger, choosing instead to spend time with the director or fellow cast members. Her friends later said that she dreaded each day's shoot whenever she knew she had to share scenes with him. "I counted the days until filming ended," she admitted later. "I have never been happier to finish a movie in my life." Such an admission from a woman of Reed's restaurant was rare, but it showed just how deep her hatred toward Granger ran. It wasn't just his arrogance that offended her. It was the complete lack of courtesy he showed toward others. Granger reportedly spoke down to assistants, fought with the director, and dismissed technical staff as if they were invisible. Reed, who had always treated every member of the crew with kindness, was disgusted by his behavior. "He had no respect for anyone," she said. "Not for the director, not for the crew, not for his fellow actors. I didn't think he even respected himself." The clash between her moral integrity and his big ego became symbolic of two very different worlds: the humble American decency that Reed represented versus the elitist arrogance that Granger embodied. Even years after the whole truth was released, Donna Reed's memories of working with Stewart Granger remained bitter. While she went on to enjoy great success on television with The Donna Reed Show, winning over audiences with her warmth and authenticity, she never forgot the misery of that particular film shoot. "I learned one important lesson," she later reflected. "Never mistake charm for character." That statement, though subtle, was clearly aimed at Granger, whose smooth exterior had long fooled Hollywood into believing he was a gentleman. Behind the camera, Reed had discovered he wasn't anything but. In the decades that followed, fans and film historians continued to be intrigued by Reed's strong reaction to Granger. For a woman as gracious and forgiving as Donna Reed to openly express hatred toward a co-star said much about how unpleasant the experience must have been. Stewart Granger may have been a handsome, dashing figure on screen, but to Donna Reed, he represented everything she'd despised: vanity, arrogance, and cruelty disguised as charm. "I could work with anyone," she once said, "but not with a man who believes he's better than everyone else." For her, Stewart Granger was the one person in Hollywood who crossed that line, and she never forgave him for it. Reed died on January 14, 1986 at age 64 of pancreatic cancer in Beverly Hills, California. She had been diagnosed with the illness 3 months earlier and was told it was at a terminal stage. Her remains are buried in the Pierce Brothers Westwood Village Memorial Park and Mortuary in Los Angeles.